Hey guys, God bless. Hope everyone's doing well. Pray that you all are doing well. Hope this video blesses you. I got some new information on this eclipse. Something that really it was like the Holy Spirit almost slapped me. It hit me very hard when I saw it. I was just, wow, I was just taken back. So as I was looking at this in Google Earth, I was like, there's more here. There's got to be something here, something, and I might find more. I don't know, but I found something, and I was looking at this area right here, and I was like, that's just, I don't know, something just speaks to me right through here. And as I was looking at it, it hit me. And I'll explain how it hit me and some of the verses that go along with it. Please watch this till the end. I think you'll be very blessed. So as I was looking at that, um, here's our solar eclipse. It's March 9th. Okay, and I was looking at my phone, and when I looked up March 9th, I was looking at my moon program, and I saw 69 days. And I was just like, then it hit me. I put two and two together. And when I saw that, I was just amazed. Some of you might know where I'm going. I'm not sure, but let's continue on. So I saw the 69 days, and March 9th is the 68th day, but it's the 69th day in leap years. And of course, we just had February 29th, so we're in a leap year. Excuse me. I've had a cold and just different things. So, anyway, March 9th is the 69th day in leap years, and this, of course, is a late leap year. And I started digging. Now, 69 is the symbol for Cancer. Okay, and let's keep going. And things just started popping out to me very quickly. Um, I do something for the Lord besides this channel, um, and and in doing that, I don't really want to say what I do. It's nothing crazy or anything. It's just something that's I think kind of private. But I do something for the Lord that's kind of off the beaten track, I guess, than what most assignments are. You know, we're one body, we all have different functions. So one thing that He has me do leads me to a lot of information. And one person I subscribe to is called Enter the Stars. Enter the Stars has shown a lot of stuff to deal with numerology and how things are all connected in the universe and how this world is made and how God is just, we're in almost like a matrix. And I say matrix, I know people have heard that term, but I mean, we are literally in a matrix because God shows us things through what happens here on earth. And here's an example. So Alan Rickman and both David Bowie died recently, close to the same time, I believe, at the age of 69. And they had a battle with cancer. Okay. That's pretty not, I mean, that if you're in a spirit, if you're using your spiritual eyes, you look at this and you see something. You might not see everything, but you see something. And I started looking at cancer, 69. What's all this mean? And as I started to do just a little bit of research, I'm not talking any research whatsoever. I was like, golly, 69-year-old crossing the road gets hit by a car. Another 69-year-old struck by two cars crossing a highway. Another guy killed, struck by a car crossing. Now you might think, okay, yeah, this happens all the time, but look at the dates. This is one per month: January, December, November, and I mean, what is going on here? And there were so many of these types of incidents that I couldn't keep up with. My mind just couldn't keep up with putting them all together, at least in this short time frame to get a video out. So I'm looking at everything, and I'm like, wow, what is going on? And then it starts to hit me. Now, there's a guy called Ethelbert Bullinger who wrote the book Witness in the Stars, and the Lord pointed me to this book a long time ago and told me to pay attention to this book about the signs in the heavens. So I, I take some excerpts from this, and we'll just go over this briefly. Now, let's talk about the Dendera chart real quick, and we're gonna go to the Dendera chart right here. A guy named the Grox has broken this chart down. He shows all kinds of stuff on this chart. Now, one thing I couldn't find this video. I really wanted to find this video to put it in this video. Was there's a guy studying the chart and he's looking at it where it's at in the Dodera uh, temple, I guess is what it is. And he says Cancer is very, very much a key player in the end of days. And you see Cancer right here in the center almost of the Dendera chart. Now, let's go over a couple things. I don't know this chart completely. I know a few things about it. This is the beast, okay? This is the leg of the bull, which is the Pleiades, where heaven is located. You have Jesus on trampling over the serpent. You have the woman with the arrow that flies. You have the bull that's going to be used for judgment. You have the marriage supper. You have the over here, you have this person right here with their dog. We talked about the dog star Sirius, and the dog star is gonna be our travel. It's our way into heaven. It's our God. It's Jesus. He's the way into heaven. Just as dog is spelled backwards. There's all kinds of things. Here you have the guy ruling with the rod of iron. Some will get their dog. Others will rule with Christ. You have the Pisces. You have this right here. If you look at the other Dendera chart, you'll see Obama's face right in here. How it's kind of all in here, trickery or whatever. But this is the bull kicking the mask off of Obama. You have the bird that will drop the great sword in Revelation, the horseman riding. So there's all kinds of stuff. But he said Cancer plays a key role in the end times. So let's take a look. We'll go back to some of these excerpts, and we're just going to go through these briefly. Like so, Al-Sultan this is the stars in here that he's talking about inside the sign of Cancer. Holds or binds together. And down here talks about the sign is remarkably a bright cluster of stars, so bright they can be sometimes seen with the naked eye. It looks like a comet. It's made of a great multitude of stars. There's a star system in here called the Beehive. They call it the Beehive. Now, real quick, the elite consider us bees, and we are bees making the money by consuming. We are the bees that are generating their revenue, uh, their state, I guess, exactly. And I can prove that. Let me get just a second. I'll pull something up, and I'm going to insert it here real quick. Now, it might be hard to see. I couldn't find really a good picture of it, but you see all these tens right through here. These are all the bees right through here. All right, that's a kind of a mockery at us, and who we are. But anyway, if you go to Enter the Stars and you look at, talks about look at his videos about beehives, and he's got a bunch on 69. He's got a bunch on, the crossing and whatnot. So anyway, so we have that, and then we have this down here. The brightest star is called that, and to the lower claw, blah, blah, blah. In Arabic, it means the sheltering or the hiding place. Okay, we talked about that in the last video. All right, so some other things. Let's keep going. The Arabic name for Al-Satan, which means who holds or binds, may be from the Hebrew to bind together. And that goes back to, we talked about the fish, and I'm going to show you a couple other things that it talks about here in biblical verses. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. The one star here you have called Acillus, means ass, and the one called Acillus Boris, the northern ass, while the other is the southern ass. Okay, and it comes down, the sign afterward known as the symbol 69, which stands for these two asses. This connects it to the tribe of Asher, who is said to have been born upon a tribal standard, blah, blah, two asses. And it talks about crouching down between two sheepfolds. He saw a resting place that it was good. Now, I had a video a long time ago where God didn't show me heaven, but he showed me a place of rest. And I was confused about it because I didn't know scripturally what it meant. And I believe it's going to be a place of rest that's talked about in Revelation 12 when the 144 go to their resting place and they have a time of rest. And I believe it's going to be a place outside of time, outside of the constraints of time. And then when they return, it's going to be almost as like moments away after they had disappeared. But let's just keep going. We're gonna talk about all these things in a second. Here we have the completion of his work, he's redeemed, and then next to the last sign is Leo with a reference to his enemies. Okay, so this is the last sign before Leo. All right. So what I've deduced is we have binding to bind to join together the shelter or hiding place. And we have the crossing. Then we have the beehive or the multitude. We talked about the bees, resting place, and tribe of Asher. Pardon me, not Asher, but Issachar. So we come here to bind or join, and some of the things that stood out to me was this. This is Joshua. A lot of stuff in Joshua, folks. The Bible is a set of allegories. It's a set of book for symbolism to show us the way home. Joshua paints a picture of Jesus Christ just as Abraham, Isaac portrayed the Father and the Son. This is Jesus at the end days, is what you're seeing in Joshua. It even goes in when Joshua comes, it talks about how all the Israelites feared him and, you know, were afraid of him because they saw the Lord in him. You look that up, that verse on your own, but that's in there as well. So this talks about Rahab. Now, it talks about the two spies going into the city, and they come up with Rahab, and she says, "Hide yourselves for 3 days until the pursuers be returned, and after that you may go your way. Behold, when I come into the land, thou shalt bind the scarlet thread through the window which thou did let us down, and bring thy father and mother and brethren and your whole household." This thread, this red thread, I think kind of goes a couple different ways. First off, the window is the eye of the soul, and this thread is being this I believe shows the pears in the harvest pulling out the last of the sinners out of the city before destruction. I believe this was his. And this is giving us our 3 day reference for the 3 days of darkness. Bind this line of scarlet thread, and you know, we saw the multitudes how they were bound by a thread as well to Satan. And I believe this is showing us this is breaking of that thread. They're going to be loosed from this thread because they're going to come down out of the window um, and be let out. And they're going to be freed by, of course, Jesus Christ, of course, but through the use of the two spies that go into the city. Okay, let's keep going. Um, this talks about binding the bundles of wheat. We all know that if you look at the study on Satan's greatest lie, unknown to man, it talks about um, there are people here that aren't really, they're Satan's seed. And that's what this is being bundled together. And, um, and it's going to burn, I'm sorry, the tares are going to be burned, but the wheat is going into the barn. So bind them in bundles and burn them, but gather the wheat and put it into my barn. It's talking about the harvest time. Okay, I thought this was really neat. This isn't actually charity. If you look it up, it's agape, and that means love. Above all things, put on love, which is the bond of perfectness. And let the peace of God rule in your hearts in one body, and let the word of Christ dwell in you richly in all wisdom, teaching and admonishing to one another. I believe that the 144 or the pairs are going to go out and let this word dwell richly in all wisdom. We're going to teach people, teaching them. Um, and I heard a message the other day about how these people will be singing hymns to people to put them to sleep and to give them rest and to help them. So this goes right along with what I saw yesterday. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly in all wisdom, teaching, admonishing one another in the psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing with grace in your hearts to the Lord. All right, let's keep going. Crossing. Now, this is a very interesting passage. I believe that, well, let's take a look. So Joshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, "Prepare your victuals, for within 3 days you shall pass over this Jordan, and go and possess the land which the Lord God giveth you to possess." And the Reubenites and the Gadites, "Lord your God hath given you rest, and hath given you this land. Um, your wives, your little ones, and your cattle shall remain in the land which Moses gave you on this side of the Jordan, but you will pass over your brethren, armed, almighty men of valor, and help them." What I think this is saying is this is that crossing that Jordan, I think, is symbolic of going outside of time and then coming back. I might be wrong. Please, please comment. Let me know what you think. But prepare yourselves for 3 days. for within 3 days. And we know that if you watch Bond's blog, go to her blog, it says that there'll be a sign, and then within a few days, there's going to be an earthquake, and then the 3 days of darkness will happen. So he's saying, prepare yourself for the 3 days, in my opinion. You will pass over this Jordan and go and possess the land which the Lord God hath given you to possess. The Lord God hath given you rest and hath given you this land. Your wives, your little ones, your cattle, your children uh, will stay, but you will pass over your brethren armed, all the mighty men of valor, and help them until the Lord, brethren, rest hath given you, possess the land. And I think that's what it's saying. Until you go to heaven, this is what's going to happen. Anyway, let me know what you think. And Joshua rose early that morning. This is still the crossing. And it came to pass after 3 days that the officers went through the hosts. And they commanded the people, saying, when you see the ark of the covenant before your God, you should remove from your place and go after it. Yet there shall be a space between you and it, about 2,000 cubits of measure. Come not near it unto it. Sanctify yourselves. And this is what I like, this verse right here, this part right here. Sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. And even Jesus says you will do greater miracles than these. And I think you've heard the messages about how these 144 will go out and do these mighty miracles in God's name that He has promised that we would do. And this is where it goes back to the 144, and it goes back to the first fruits, Revelation 14:4. Now therefore take 12 men out of the tribes of Israel, out of each tribe a man. Okay, and it shall come to pass as soon as the soles of the feet of the priests that bear the ark of the Lord, that the Lord of all the earth shall rest in the waters, that the waters of the Jordan shall be cut off from the waters that come from above, and they shall stand upon a heap. It's going to part the Jordan, just like the crossing of the Red Sea. The same thing is happening here. As soon as they come in, boom, I think time's going to stop. Right here's another little hint. For Jordan overfloweth all its banks in the time of the harvest. Okay, so let's keep going. Shelter, hiding place. We talked about this verse right here. Isaiah 26:20. Enter thou in thy chamber, shut the door about thee, hide thyself as it were for a little moment, till the indignation be overpast. Isaiah 2:10. Enter into the rock and hide thee in the dust, for fear of the Lord God, for fear of the Lord and the glory of His majesty. Okay, guys. The Lord is my rock. Psalms 18. Another reference to hiding in the rock and putting yourself in Him. Multitude and harvest. Now, what I've seen is this. If you look at Revelation 7, it talks about the 144. If you go to 14:4 Revelation, it talks about the first fruits. Those are the ones that did not defile themselves. If you read past Revelation 7 a little bit, it talks about the great multitude that no man can number, all nations, people, kindreds, and tongues. And this is the harvest coming forth. And then you have Revelation 7 that talks about the 144. Then it talks about the great multitude. If you go to Revelation 14, it talks about the first fruit, and then it talks about the harvest. So it kind of bounces a little bit. So it talks about the sickle and the harvest of the ripe is ready. And then, of course, you have the great multitude in Revelation 7:8. Thought this was interesting for about resting place. Numbers 10:33. 3 days journey for the Ark of the Covenant. Lord went before them for 3 days journey to search out a resting place for them. Remember, it goes back to that resting place. Once again, the video, the bride's resting place. The woman will be granted the wings of a two-winged eagle. There are two women in Revelation 12. Read it very closely. One woman is given the wings of a great eagle. The other woman is not. She flies into the wilderness. The other woman runs to her place. I'm not sure about the wording without looking at it, but there's two women in Revelation 12 where she is nourished for a time and a half. And the other one, it gives us specific days from the face of the serpent. So I believe this could be going, this wilderness, and you got to do the word study. This wilderness, I believe, without looking at my study, is different than the other wilderness. This one shows a place of teaching, a reprieve, where the other one actually shows a testing place. So just keep that in mind. If you go to Ishar, There's a couple things I thought were interesting here. He saw that the rest was good, so he talks about the burden between. He's between two burdens, and he comes down here. The first this talks about the blessing of Ishar, and his name means either he will bring a reward or a man of wages. I didn't really find, to be honest with you, too much on this. Like I said, I saw what I saw real quick, and I put it together and and put it out. So go back to this area right here, and this is what I saw. And we talked about how Cancer, uh, being the constellation with the 69 and everything. And I think, I don't know if you see that there or not, um, but I see a crab right here, with that big obnoxious claw over here and nothing over here. But um, folks, I'm really would like to hear your comments on what you think. But could this be the time of the crossing? Um, I really do think it is. But anyway, God bless. Pray over this. Please comment. Let me know what you think. And I love you all very much. Take care. Goodbye.